Hey brothers and sisters in Christ and people of YouTube. It's a warm one today. I think summer's finally here. There's just flies galore. Just thinking about all the victories God has given to me. He's given all my enemies into my hand. It's like imagine you're a kid in a playground and all the kids are picking on you, and in walks your dad, and he just terrorizes them until they leave. That's pretty much what God does. And all these haters, all these people that come up against me, they're just gone. And it's like I haven't done anything, I haven't heard from them, and it's just like I can just focus on myself and my projects and the work he needs me to do. And it's like I haven't had to lift a finger. I've just been in prayer and worship with God, like having a relationship with him. And that's all you have to do, really. His yoke is light, and he'll teach you everything you need to know, and he'll give you the words you need to speak in the hour you need to speak them. So it's just been so peaceful, and to go from someone that just hates your guts and wants to kill you in your life, and the kid that just was totally spreading rumours about you as well, to just nothing, is beautiful. It's just like giving these angry, jealous people their just desserts, and I didn't have to do anything. All I had to do was keep the faith and follow God. Today really is the warmest it's been in a while. It's 29 today, and you can actually feel it a fair bit. Even the wind's not as chilly as it would normally be, but at least we have the wind here. Like a lot of people complain about it, but it actually makes a difference in summer, whether you're going to be a little bit hot or really hot. And sometimes you can get away with just leaving a couple of windows open, and that's enough to cool down your house. And I'm pretty well blessed that I've got tiles in my house anyway, so it's fairly cool. Everything's a blessing at the moment. I've got no complaints. He's given me something to do each day. I don't long for anything. Whenever I want food, I've got money to buy it. I've got, when the narc was at their evilest, they were just hiding food from me too. Simple things containers of rice. Not even anything nice to eat, and it's not stuff they were going to eat anyway, but was just hiding it out of spite for their wickedness. You'd never done anything bad to this person, but because you found out about their wickedness, how dare you? How dare you call them out on their evil, on their bad doing? But now God's just turned it all around. I pretty much just won for nothing. All my bills are paid up to date now. It's just everything. He just keeps blessing me. And if I'd had that person still in my life, I would have received nothing. He would have just kept trying to push this person away from me. But I think that's the most valuable lesson, though. In order to receive your blessings, you've got to go through some pain first. You've got to be courageous enough to realise, hey, I've got to be alone again, but it's gonna all be okay, because you're never really alone when you're with God. He'll take care of you, but you have to be willing to make that sacrifice and put those people at the foot of his cross, which isn't the easiest to do, especially once a narcissist convinces you of your codependency, which is all fake, but it's basically they trick you into thinking that you need them. It's very hard to break free of that bond, but you need to be courageous and just do it, because at the end of the day, I used to see so many miserable couples together. People that thought, hey, marrying a girl that's 30 years younger than me is a cool idea, until it no longer was, until you were with them for many years and we're just miserable. And imagine being like that in your old age. That would not be good. And until you make this sacrifice, your life won't improve. Especially, life's not supposed to be about misery. Marriage is not supposed to be miserable. Don't believe everything you hear on or read on Facebook about, I just got a black eye because I spoke out about my wife, and it's supposed to be funny because we put it in the form of a meme. Like, it's like, what the hell is this? Like, why is that acceptable, behaviour? And people just think, oh, these jokes are acceptable because they're funny. And so there's nothing funny about it. It's abuse. And so don't believe everything you see online. You're not supposed to be miserable with your partner. You wouldn't think you'd need to explain that, though, would you? That a partnership takes two. It takes two to tango, and you need to work together, and you need to treat your partner like equals. Even though God gave authority to a man over his household, it doesn't mean you lord it over your household. You still, your partner is your equal, and you should always consult each other before big decisions. But at the end of the day, if you can't come to an agreement, it should be up to the man to make the tough decisions. But you got to at least communicate things. And when you're with a narcissist, you can't communicate anything. Anything you try to communicate is shot down, and they just tell you that they're the best, and you're just being an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. Why would you say such things? Anything to make you lose your confidence so that you submit to their demonic rule. And that's not a partnership, that's a dictatorship. And I don't know, I just think any man that's sort of submitted to a wife is not living authentically. They're going to be miserable, because at the end of the day, what you're giving up is your actual manhood when you submit to a woman. And that'll probably upset some people, because the world's quite political these days. But it's the truth. We were made for certain purposes, and a woman was made to be a man's helper. That doesn't make her his slave. But, we all had specific roles that were made by God. And if you think that what I'm saying is wrong, take it up with the Creator, because it was His idea, not mine. But all I'm trying to say is a narcissist seems to pervert everything and flip it on its head. So in relationships, they want to be in control, they want to be in charge. And the reason being is, if you're too busy arguing with a narcissist, you don't realise what they're up to. You're too busy trying to please them. Then you're not going to be checking through their phone. You're not going to be checking through, their text messages to see who they're messaging. But 9 times out of 10, even if you do, you're picking up the wrong phone, because they always have 3 phones, a tablet, a laptop. They got so many devices that you might just pick up the wrong one, and it's just clean. That's the one they use at school to talk to all the soccer mums, or and then they've got the middle one, which is for Tinder and the other apps they have for hooking up. And even if you do pick the right one, they may have just deleted those apps, which means the records of their infidelities is gone. It just depends how personal the narcissist likes to keep things, because some of them, especially with my ex, was so nostalgic about all their infidelity that they kept records, and her main records are on her iCloud, but I'm sure there was on the dating apps as well. But the thing is, like, once I knew this person was a certain type of person, I didn't need to know everything. I knew enough, and God told me enough that it was like, okay, God, I'm through mucking around. This person's not for me. Just remove them from my life, which He did. And it's just been one blessing after another. Like, because before, when you're a loyal person with a narcissist, you're not talking to anyone else. You're just putting your head down. You're going about your day, and even when you're not with your narcissist, you're thinking about them. They're in your heart, and you just, like, your heart is for that one person. So of course you're not talking to other women. You're not. You're not even making other guy friends. You're just kind of, sticking to your family household, which is very important. But unfortunately, this just plays into the narcissist's hand of, well, now I can cheat on you, and you're just too busy thinking about me that I'm going to get away with more. And because you're not talking to other people, you're not going to hear if I get caught out in anything. So because those people aren't your friends, why would they feel obligated to tell you the truth? So you just create more of a rod for your back by being loyal to these people, which is really sad. But it's just the way it is. Like, when you're like a compulsive liar and someone that's addicted to cheating for validation, like, these sorts of people are never gonna want to hear the truth. They're never gonna take accountability for their sins. And one of the narc's friends was nearly 60, Filipino lady, and she used to pay out on her all the time, saying, oh, she loves to have all these other men. She's basically saying that this woman was a whore. And the thing is, I'd just stay away from that woman after that. I was just like, oh, well, I don't want to be around her, because my then partner told me that she didn't mind married men. She'd go for anything, sort of thing. I didn't realise this was projection. I didn't realise this was the narcissist telling me everything they do behind my back. But see, this woman could have been innocent for all I know, because the narcissist loves to just paint people in a poor light that oppose them or that speak up about them. They love to destroy them. But at the same time, it could have been true in a sense, because the narcissist loves hanging around their own people. They love hanging around other women that validate their poor choices, like, and do all the same things the narcissist is doing. See, once the narcissist finds a circle of other narcs, it makes their life very easy, because they make pacts with these people, whether they pay the money or whether they just have a mutual understanding that, hey, if you tell lies to my partner, I'll tell lies to your partner. So it'll all work out in the end, and we'll all look like good ladies. But even though we're not even ladies, we're women of the streets. And that's the thing, they just, once they find that circle, they're the only people that they can be themselves around. Like, where they can drop their masks, they can rage out, they can do whatever. And these people are going to understand, because they're exactly the same beasts. They've got exactly the same demons. And then they become like Legion, and where there's many of them, and they're all up to wickedness. And this is the hardest thing to detect if you don't have strong discernment, is that you can't, even if you do see something, it's hard to point out, because if they're around these people, they will just gaslight you and wear you down, because you'll be hearing from all these different voices, like, your partner's not like that, what are you talking about, because the narcissists don't want their secrets coming out. And if they have to defend another narcissist for their interests as well, then they're willing to do it. But it's a transactional thing. Like, if they're getting something out of it, they'll defend the other narcissists. Once they stop getting anything out of it, then they'll stop defending them. But it's just really hard to deal with that sort of thing. And the problem is, nowadays, with so many arranged marriages happening, a lot of the women that are getting sent over are narcissists. Whether their families are narcissistic, I don't know, but it's almost like their family want to get rid of them. Like, please take her. She's, been a burden. Just take her. We don't want her anymore. Because who would sell their own child? And yet in these countries they do. And it's almost like, all those women that want to get married for money, it seems good on paper, but 9 times out of 10 they'll be a narcissist, because you've already agreed to marry them for money. So you've already played into a narcissist's hands. And you can't find love with someone that you meet that way. And a lot of times people might have a kid with a narc, and they might be great parents together. They might just really dote on their child, but when it comes to their alone time, there's nothing there. Like, the person resents getting married to you, but they wanted to come to another country where they could earn money and be rich. So you were like a means to an end. Not saying that all arranged marriages are like that, but it's just one of the pitfalls of it. You're going to run into a lot of narcissists because they just love money, and anything to do with it, anything business-like or transactional, is going to attract them. And it's also why they love being in churches, because they can put on this fake persona. There's people there that will just throw around free money, like, oh, you got a problem? Yeah, I'll help you with that. And, they just love it. It's just supply galore everywhere. And it's like premium supply for them, because it's, a lot of the people in there have divine light, and that's what they're after. They love the light, but they don't want to put the work in to get their own. Like, they'd rather just destiny swap you and steal your energy, like the energy vampires they are. And that's why you got to be so careful as a man of God or a woman of God, who you let into your life, because a lot of people do try to steal your light. And someone explained it very well. It's like moths going to a light. They just want to come like near the light. They're attracted to it. It's like a moth. And it's hard to know, even with good discernment, it is hard to know what people's intentions are straight away. Like, you might pick up on bad vibes and then ignore them, and then this person's in your life, and you're like, after a couple of weeks, you're like, something's still not right. And then it might take a month, and then you've wasted all that time on someone. It's just why I'm trying to be careful at the moment with people who I let in. Sometimes people come across like too good to be true, like they just seem too friendly, or they just seem like they're on your side too much, and I'm just like, okay, there's something up here, eh? Like, is this someone that's been sent in to, as a Trojan horse? You have to be really careful if a Christian by yourself, and most of us chosen one are by ourselves for a large period of time, because we want authentic people in our life, and there's just not that many people. Another red flag for me is if someone speaks more than one language and they choose to keep you out of conversations with their friends, like they would just speak their own language, like, oh, we just want to, because we're with friends. And it's like, yeah, but you're also just excluding me from the conversation. Like, that's a red flag, because you got no idea what they're saying about you. See, my narc used to love speaking her own language so that I could never hear what was said. And then she'd get her nose out of joint when she was around Filipino people, like, because she'd be like, oh, what are they doing speaking their own language? I can't understand what they're saying. And it's like, that's exactly what you do to people, so, fair's fair. And the funny thing is, like, this person would always make an excuse, oh, I'm around family, or I'm around friends, so I'm just going to speak my language, and just exclude you from so many conversations. Like, I'd be in Vietnam and I'd just kind of be sitting on the couch, and I'd end up going back to the hotel room. She'd be like, oh, why don't you want to come out, and it's like, why I don't want to come out, because you're just being disrespectful. And it's funny, because I had a Vietnamese girlfriend about 12 or 13 years ago, and she was the opposite, which is a funny thing. She hated to speak Vietnamese when she was with me, and her sister was the same. They'd just be like, oh no, we're hanging out with you, so we're not gonna disrespect you like that. But they said, but the only time where our attitude's going to change is with our parents, because our dad forces us to speak Vietnamese. And it's like, okay, fair enough. And the funny thing is, even their dad could speak a level of English as well, so he would talk to me for a bit by himself, but then they would speak Vietnamese. But at least I felt like I wasn't being used, wasn't being disrespected by this person, because they only did it when they needed to. And Alice was very keen to just be Australian. She just wanted to be treated like everyone else. Like, she didn't care about her culture so much. She was like, you know what, I am Vietnamese, but at the same time I'm Australian. I want to be known as Australian. So she was happy to let go of her culture to just be part of a bigger culture, and she was lovely like that. She still kept some of her roots, like she'd just stick with family. She didn't have a big circle of friends. She was lovely, really. It's just unfortunate I met this other Vietnamese woman, because it's just killed it for me. Like, it's, I used to really love the Vietnamese people, and now I second guess them every time I meet them. Like, is this one that I can actually trust, or is this another flying monkey, another dishonourable one? Because I had been told about these people before in their country, like there's some good ones and some bad ones. But the thing is, they all band together when there's gossip and gang stalking to go on, which is, I find funny, because in their country they normally don't trust each other, which is, yeah, weird sort of demographic. But yeah, anyway, God bless all of you. Remember, Jesus loves you. I love you, and have a blessed day in Jesus' name.